Hi everyone, welcome to Zaurus. In this video, we are going to talk about how to create Docker image of your Spring Boot application. There are many ways to do it, but in this video, we will just look at one method, which is the recommended method, and you should use that method only. But I have created one article where I have described three methods to create Docker image. So I will just say that this is the article. You can go over it if you want to learn more about creating Docker image of your application. So there are few methods as I already told you. The first is basic container image. So in this method, you just write a simple Docker file. This Docker file just copy the Uber or fat jar of your application into the Docker image and then run it using Java jar command. But this is inefficient method. So as an alternative, we use layered jar. So what layered jar is, in the normal fat or Uber jar, everything is inside one jar file. So it is called fat or uber jar. And when you run fat or uber jar using java jar command, then there is some overhead while running it. And if you use that application in container, then that overhead is visible. So what you need to do is you need to create layers for your application. So let's say topmost layer will be your dependencies. After that, you will have snapshot dependencies. After that, you will have Spring Boot loader classes, and at the bottom layer, you will have application layer. So it is obvious that we change our application code more often than we change the Spring Boot version, or we change the dependencies or dependencies versions. That means our application will be changed more often. So if we use layered jar and use that layered jar to create layered Docker image, in that case, the Docker does not need to build the whole image again and again. It just need to build the only layer which has been changed, and it can get all other layer from its cache. So that is the second benefit of using layered jar. The first is the startup time is very less for layered jar, and the second is the building time or the the building time of the image is also very less. So that's why we use layered jar. Now, in order to use layered jar, first of all, the layering should be enabled. So I have specified the configuration you need to do for build.gradle or form.xml file, and then layering will be enabled. And once the layering is enabled, then when you use this command or this command to create the jar file, then you will have layered jar. And now you have layered jar, but you need some other Docker file to create layered Docker image using layered jar. So for that, you can take reference from this Docker file. And once you have that Docker file, you can just build the Docker image like normally. So you can just use this Docker build command to build the image. Okay. So that was the second way. Now third way is using cloud native build packs. So if I go here, so cloud native build packs allows us to create Docker images without creating a Docker file. So if you don't create Docker file, then it's less likely to make any error while creating the Docker image. So in order to use cloud native build packs, we don't need to add any plugin or anything in our Gradle or maven build system. It is already included with Spring Boot dependency. So we just need to run this command gradle boot build image. Now, okay, let's do that. So first of all, I went ahead and I created one Spring Boot application using Spring Initializer website. So I'm using Gradle build system with Kotlin DSL here, but you can use whatever you want. Java is the language, 3.3.3 is Spring Boot version. This is the group ID, and Docker example is the artifact ID. And I'm just adding Spring Web dependency. So let me show you. So I created one simple endpoint here. Whenever we issue a GET request to greeting endpoint, then we should get this hello world message. Oh, I will just run this application. The application is running. Now let's verify kernel localhost 8080 greeting. We can see message hello world, and if I use JQ, okay, we can see this message clearly here. So our application is working. Now let's build the Docker image for it. If we use gradle, which we are using, in that case the command is gradle boot build image, or else if we use maven, then the command is this is spring boot colon build image. This is the command. Okay, I will issue this command. Then it will build the image. Now this cloud native build packs, this used layers are to create the layered Docker image for a Spring Boot application. If you look at this Dockerfile to create layered Docker image, then we can see that we have two base images here. First is builder of base image, and the second is run base image. So in this Dockerfile, I am using the same base image, but we can use different base image as well. So you can go to Docker Hub and then you can get these base images for uh, whatever Java version you are using. Let's say for Java 17, the image will be different. Or even for one version as well, you can get image from different distributions. So I'm using Eclipse Tamarind, but you can use whatever you want if you are trying to use this method. But if we use this build packs, then it will by default select some suitable image. And we got some error here. There was some error when I ran this same command previously, so it might be due to some network error. But you can see successfully built image docker.io/library/docker example. So this is the image name. So general image name is, let's say this is the Docker registry, then this is like organization name or team name or whatever, and then this is the service name, and then after colon we have the tag. So this is the name of the Docker image which is built. Now let's say we want to customize the name of the Docker image. So for that, that is also covered in this article. So we want to configure image name for Gradle build system, and we are using Kotlin DSL, so we can use this one. I will just copy it and I will paste it here. Sorry, in the build.gradle.kts, and we need to import it. So what I am doing here is, first of all, I am creating a variable here, image prefix, which is Jawaras, then Docker image name, Docker hyphen example. Let's do it docker.io/Jawaras. Then this is the image name or service name, whatever. And then we are configuring boot build image. So this is the same task which we ran, boot build image, and we are configuring this task. So there is a variable called image name. We want to set its value to image prefix slash docker image name colon the version. And this version is already defined here. So this is the version of this artifact. This is the group. Okay. And so this is how we specify the image to be built in Gradle. If you are using Maven, then you need to configure Spring Boot Maven plugin and set the image name here. So here if you want to specify some variables or some properties, you can specify them inside properties element. After that, if I run this command again, now you can see it is building image with this name docker.io/javarus and docker example 0.0.1 snapshot. So it will build this image. Now let's say you want to specify the name of the image to be built while running this command. There as well you can specify this. If you're using gradle, then use this command. So we just need to specify one argument image name, and its value will be the name of the image which you want to use. Similarly, if you are using maven, then you can use the same command, but you need to specify one this virtual machine argument spring boot dot build image dot image name, and its value will be the name of the image. Okay, let's try that as well. So gradle w boot build image, and I will just provide the image name. Okay, so image name equals to this will be the name of the image. Now let's say hub dot docker dot io/javarus, and let's give it some other name docker example and v1. Now if we see in the log, we can see building image hub.docker.io/javarus/docker ex colon v1. It will build this image. And then if we want to test whether the image is working as intended or not, then we can create a container, run it using docker run command, and here we just need to provide the image name. We will just do that. So the image is built successfully. Let's see docker image ls. So this gives a list of all the images available in our system. So these two images were used by Buildpack. So first, this is the builder image, this is the runner image. And so the builder image is used to extract the layers from the layered jar, and runner image is used to use those layers and run the application. Now we have three different Docker images here. So this is the first Docker image, this is the second Docker image, and then this is the third Docker image. Now let's say we want to run the third image. So we can say docker run. So for now, if we just say curl localhost 8080 greeting, we see this error. But now let's run it. We need to expose ports 8080 and then the image name. This is the image name. I will just copy it and then v1. I will run it. Okay, it is running. And let's send this request, and we can see hello world being printed here. So not only name, you can configure like almost all of the properties. So if you go to this gradle section, then you can see you can configure almost everything. Docker config, Docker context, Docker host, Docker TLS verified, Docker certificate path, and like Docker registry, username, password, URL, email, token. So Docker registry is the URL from where you want to fetch the images or where you want to publish the images. So Docker registry will use to fetch the base images. Now image customization, you can specify the builder image name, run image name, the actual image name which we specified. Then this is the pull policy, always, never, or if not present. This is the environment variable which you need to pass to the Docker image. Then this is the build pack. So which build pack you want to use while when you run this boot build image task. And there are a lot of uh, properties you can set or you can change. So you can change almost anything you want. So that is how we build Docker image of a Spring Boot application using cloud native build packs. If you find this video to be useful, then please like and share it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching the video. I will meet you in the next one. Bye.